Brought to you by GE on World Anesthesia Day.
It's 4 in the evening in Delhi's affluent Vasant Kunj area. At house number 1178, the city police, members of the Women's Commission and an NGO Shakti are pressing the owner to let them in. The team has information of a minor girl being tortured and forced to work here as a domestic. 4 hours later, the door opens, but what they find is horrific. A frail 15-year-old girl with knife injuries on her face and her skull, burned all over her body, too scared to utter even a word.
गांव का नाम क्या है बेटा?
The employer reveals how she procured the girl.
इसको आपने एम्प्लॉय कैसे किया था?
एजेंसी के थ्रू किया था.
Trafficking thousands of minor girls to big cities from villages in Jharkhand, Assam, Odisha, West Bengal, lured with the promise of money and jobs, is a flourishing racket. A racket driven by illegal investment agencies, over 5,000 of them in Delhi itself. Shakurpur Basti in West Delhi is loaded with such agencies. Posing as a family in need of a minor domestic help, we approach some of these agencies with a hidden camera.
मेरा तो काफी दिन हो गया पर मैं तो यहीं पे खुद काम कर रहा हूँ.
कितना साल हो गए?
6-7 साल.
कितना लड़की लोग लाए हो आज तक?
मैं 6 लड़की लाया हूँ.
ट्रेन में चेकिंग करते हैं?
ट्रेन में चेकिंग ध्यान नहीं देते.
साफ सुथरी उसको करना पड़ता है ना, वहाँ पर अच्छा कपड़ा पहनाना पड़ता है.
Another agent openly agrees to bring a minor girl, explaining the details of the deal to us.
तो मैं छोटी लड़की भी मैं करवा दूँगा. 30,000 रुपए.
ये 30,000
एग्रीमेंट है.
Our next stop is what most insiders refer to as the biggest placement agency. But at Panna Lal's agency, we can find minor girls at all times. Sunita, Panna Lal's wife, lets us in.
आप लोग यहाँ की सबसे बड़ी एजेंसी है ना?
हाँ, मैं 15 साल हो गए तो अपना
अभी कोई है जिनसे मिल सकते हैं?
And after a few questions, readily parades minor girls in front of us. Some as young as 12.
ये सभी झारखंड से हैं? तुम कहाँ से?
वेस्ट बंगाली.
असम. असम सूरत से. आप ही वेरिफिकेशन करवा के देंगे?
अगर छोटी एक लड़की तो उसका नहीं होगा तो उसका बेटी होना रहेगा, कोई दिक्कत नहीं.
तुम्हारा तो बच्ची के साथ तो खेल ही सकती हो.
As these girls wait in line for others to decide their fate, Sunita proudly explains how 50 years in this business has made her rich and successful.
आप लोगों ने कोई जगह बनाई हुई है कि वो रहते भी हैं, आपने रहने के लिए भी
मेरा
हॉस्टल है पूरा?
एक रेजिडेंट मेरा.
अच्छा.
ऑफिस है, उससे ऊपर लड़कों का उससे ऊपर
सभी हॉस्टल है.
मतलब
सिक्योरिटी
लड़का भी देते हैं.
Sunita calls a hostel is in fact a jail for these girls. These iron grill gates are locked at all times, restricting their movements. A time for the girls to stay and another one for minor boys hired as daily laborers.
कंट्रोल रखना पड़ता है. मेरा देखिए गेट ताला यहाँ हूँ ना, लेकिन ताला बंद. नहीं तो कौन जाती है.
तो इनका जो वेतन होता है महीने का, वो मैं इनको दूंगी या आपको?
ऑफिस में.
She explains how the girls are not paid directly. allowing her to control their lives.
हमारे बंदे में रखने के लिए ही तो इनका सैलरी, इनको छुट्टी नहीं कराना, चर्च नहीं भेजना, दुकान नहीं भेजना, कोई इनके रिश्तेदार नहीं आना, ये सब किस लिए?
With no money and no independence, these girls work like laborers year after year. Their money held up by agencies.
उसका एक साल मतलब 40-45 हजार रुपया मेरे पास रहेंगी कहाँ छोड़? तो एक डोर तो मेरे हाथ में ना है.
It is nothing short of modern slavery. Most minor girls who are trafficked get lost in this vicious cycle forever. Sadly, the recently enacted Penal Law Amendment Act 2013 fails to criminalize trafficking for exploitation as domestic labor.
The President had signed the ordinance that prohibited the employment of a trafficked child in any form of labor. Not only any form of labor. And that was a big step in the right direction. Unfortunately, the Parliament of India in its wisdom the term labor and replaced it with sexual exploitation.
This 16-year-old girl was trafficked to Delhi when she was just 12. She recalls how her agent then took her to Punjab to sell her off.
रमेश भी मेरे को 3 लाख में बेचने वाला था. मेरे को पता नहीं था, लेकिन जो पंजाब लेके जाते टाइम मेरे को बोला था रमेश कि तुमको तो मैं बेचने वाला था, लेकिन जो खरीदने वाला आदमी था 50,000 पैसे पूरा नहीं हुआ, इसलिए तुम बच गई.
Agent then found her work as a domestic help, her wages. After her 11-month work contract ended, the 50-year-old agent held her captive at the agency office and repeatedly raped her.
डेली वहाँ पे मारपीट लड़ाई झगड़ा हुआ. रोज उन्होंने मेरे साथ जबरदस्ती किया. तो मेरे को घर जाना है, मुझे पैसे दे दो. पैसे नहीं दूंगा तो क्या करोगे? मैंने बोला कि अगर तुम किसी और को बताएगी तो मैं यहीं मार दूंगा.
By the NGO Bachpan Bachao Andolan is fighting to get her agent convicted of rape and child trafficking. Extreme poverty and the absence of education and employment at their villages fuels this exodus, often separating daughters from families forever. Mamuni has travelled all the way from Assam to Delhi to search for her daughter, who she hasn't met for 3 years now. She accompanies the police as they raid a placement agency in Delhi's Shakutpur area. We find minor girls being made to stay in small dingy rooms along with male ladies, some as young.
घर कहाँ है? घर कहाँ? बंगाल में है. कौन लेके आया?
ये बड़ा वाला. तुम बोल नहीं रहे मुंह से खोल के कि तुम लेके आए? बताओ.
Mamuni's agent who had brought her daughters from Assam. At the police station, the agent Dolon confesses that there are many others like him who are bringing girls from Assam.
2-3 लड़कियां लाए.
3-4 लाया था.
4 लड़कियां. एक लड़की देने का तुमको कितना मिलता?
मुझे खूब से खूब 7-8 हजार मिलते.
कहाँ है इसकी बेटी बताओ?
Dolon also reveals where Mamuni's daughter is working as a domestic maid.
क्या नाम है? मुन्नी. अभी तो सैलरी का
Lawyer shockingly admits she has never paid the girl a paisa, only the agency.
मंथली सैलरी आपकी और कितना देते हो?
इसके 25 से 28 ऐसे चल रहा है और इसको ही देते हैं. ये दुल्हन लेके जाता है.
एजेंट आके लेके जाता है.
एजेंट यही है ना, यही लेकर आया था.
Mamuni is reunited with her daughter after 2 long years. Not everyone is as fortunate as Mamuni. 2,500 kilometers away from Delhi, this is Lakhimpur in Upper Assam. Hundreds of girls from this poverty-stricken district are trafficked out to the big cities. Like many, Rehman Ali is a daily wage labourer, rarely earning more than 1500 rupees in a month. Rehman and his wife Safira have not seen or heard from their daughter Fatima for over 5 years. She was 14 when she was taken to Delhi by a woman from their village to work as a housemaid. She has called just once on a neighbor's number.
लखनपुर में दिया था.
कब दिया था?
अभी जैसे हो गया, एक साल जैसे हम केस चलाया, एक साल जैसे हम आना जाना किया, लेकिन कोर्ट में भी कोई फैसला वैसे नहीं हुआ. हमारा भी गरीब आदमी जाने नहीं सकता इधर उधर काम के लिए. 3 तारीख हम जाने नहीं सका तो डिसमिस हो गया.
As we talk to them, the helpless parents hold on to Fatima's memories.
উঠি পেলাই বিছনাত বহি থাকো, কান্দি থাকো, চিন্তা লাগে পথাৰত যাও, তাতে যেতিয়া মানুহ লগত কথা পাতো.
The plight of this couple with a daughter missing for 5 years has not moved anyone anywhere, not the government, the police. Many families in Assam tell a similar story. This 22-year-old has experienced the whole vicious cycle. In 2009, against her family's wishes, lured by promises of life, she took the train from Lakhimpur to Delhi.
भूल तो हमारे थे ना, हम लोग दूसरों के बात सुन के चले जाते हैं. घर के बात सुनना चाहिए ना.
She faced beatings from her employer and her agent. She was kept locked up, not given proper food, barely paid, and allowed no contact with her family. Somehow she managed to escape and finally returned to her village.
Trafficking thrives because of the poverty of the people, and as you know, in the tea garden, the people have very low wage, and in fact, it is the lowest wage in the organized sector, where today they get just 89 rupees.
Not too far in the tea garden district of Duars, many families have lost their daughters to traffickers. But for some, there's hope. This family has travelled from Duars to Haryana's Indri village after hearing that their 21-year-old girl was sold here as a bride to a 50-year-old man. The man who bought her is absconding, but his brother admits on camera that the deal was struck for 70,000 rupees.
कितना हजार लिया है?
Several placement agencies traffic girls for marriages to states like Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. On hidden camera, an agent openly reveals how this is done.
हरियाणा में किस वजह से?
हरियाणा में मैडम ये लोग शादी करवा देते तो उसका पैसा मिलता था इन लोगों को.
Rescued, the 21-year-old washes off the sindoor that marks her as a married woman. Trapped in this cycle of poverty, trafficking and violence, very few manage to escape. Most are simply lost forever. Coming up,
कि हमारे घर में ऐसा कोई कमाने वाला नहीं है, तो इसी वजह से मुझे दिल्ली आना पड़ा. मेरे मम्मी पापा सब कुछ.
On a national level, there is no bill, policy, nothing regulating the plight of domestic workers.
It's 6:30 on a Sunday morning. St. Mark's Church in West Delhi is holding its special Sunday Mass for girls who work as domestic help. Mass is held early to allow the girls to hurry back to work. For most of them, it's the only outing they are allowed. A few minutes of contact with girls like them from their home state. Despite the exploitation and abuse they face, we ask what pushes these girls to leave their families and come so far away from their homes.
हम छोटे थे तभी मेरे पापा का डेथ हो गई। सिर्फ मम्मी क्या करेगी? इतने भाई बहनों का क्या कैसे पूरा
घर में पापा लोगों के लिए बहुत मजबूरी था, पैसा की कमी था, तो इधर हम करने चले आए। तो पैसे की कमी हो रही थी ना, कुछ नहीं, इसी की वजह से आई हूँ।
This 21-year-old brought to Delhi at the age of 14 says Sunday prayers are a solace. She's lost count of the number of times she was molested by the 60-year-old man who first employed her.
जब मैं शुरू आई थी, एक कोठी में जो प्रॉब्लम था, वहाँ के अंकल ठीक नहीं थे, वो छेड़खानी करते थे, रात को लाइट बंद करते थे और मेरे पास आते थे।
At 21, she feels more confident, but she says she's seen the worst.
3-4 दिन का सब्जी कोई बासी होगा तो उसको कोई खा तो नहीं। मैं भी सब देख के बिताई, लेकिन मेरी मजबूरी थी, मुझे जो मिलता मैं तो खा लेती। मैं ये नहीं सोचती थी कि खराब है, मैं मरूंगी तो मरूंगी, खाना ही। हमारे घर में ऐसा कोई कमाने वाला नहीं है, तो इसी वजह से मुझे दिल्ली आना पड़ा। मेरे मम्मी पापा मेरे लिए सब कुछ है।
Activists point to the total absence of checks and regulation. Government and police apathy allows illegal placement agencies and traffickers to flourish with impunity.
On a national level, there is no bill, no policy, nothing regulating the plight of domestic workers as well as the placement agencies that are operating.
In 2010, the Delhi High Court had ordered that all agencies should be registered and that the Labour Department needs to regulate them. But 3 years later, that court order has not altered the morality at all.
करता है सर, ये लोग करते हैं। क्या बात कर रहे हैं? हमें बोलेंगे तो लाइसेंस दिखा दूंगा। सर जी अभी ढूंढना पड़ेगा, बहुत अंदर ये चीजें ढूंढने में। कोई नहीं सर जी, फिर कभी आएंगे।
The Labour Department is not taking any punitive action against the placement agencies that are not registering themselves, which they are supposed to do. The police is supposed to take to account any particular agency working out of any particular area and shut them down if they are illegal. It is not the absence of policy, it is the application of the policy.
The other effective deterrent would be speedy justice and convictions in trafficking and abuse cases. We are headed to Sonipat District Court with a 17-year-old girl.
मैं क्या डरूंगी, जब उन्होंने मेरे साथ गलती की है तो मैं तो डरने के आगे तो हमेशा जीती होती है।
She has travelled all the way from Assam to appear as witness in her case. She was rescued in 2012 from a home in Sonipat where she alleges she was tortured and sexually abused.
एक तो मैं झाड़ू पोछा करती थी, बर्तन और रोटी, कपड़े और डस्टिंग वगैरह करती थी। बदले मुझे थप्पड़ मिलता था। मैं घर एक बार जाने के लिए जब मैंने मैडम से लड़ाई लगी तो मैंने घर जाने के निकल गई थी। मैंने पूरा बाहर निकल गई तो मैडम ने मुझे हाथ पकड़े और फिर ले गई और फिर मरी। कहने लगी मैंने इतने सारा पैसा खर्चा किए तुम्हें लाके और तुम गिरेगा भी फिर से अभी कम करो।
She was 3 months pregnant when she was rescued and sent back to Assam. No counselling in Delhi or Assam, no financial support, and is surrounded once again by the same poverty she had tried to escape.
कुछ जगह में ठीक है ही नहीं, सबके लिए ठीक है पर मेरे लिए बहुत अकेली मैं तो, पहले भी अकेली तब भी अकेली। क्या करूँगी, मैं तो मरने की सोच रही हूँ।
When they come back, no skill with them, and that's why getting rehabilitated is difficult for them. The families, though the families accept them back, but there is always the stigma from the society.
If through a legal process a child is being rescued, then it is the responsibility of the state to take good care for upholding all fundamental rights of that child, including education.
In a Delhi hospital, this 15-year-old, rescued from the home where she was repeatedly battered, is recovering. Her mother now by her side. Ask, will she ever send her daughter to work again? Without batting an eyelid, this widow and a mother of 5 replies, if she doesn't send her daughter back to work, how will she ever feed her family?